Shri Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasadi, Shri Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, welcome you all again for this Gita discussion. Gita and also combine it with Bhagavatam will be discussing. So today we'll be starting with the chapter 2, which is contents of the Gita summarized. So the name of the chapter itself is the contents of Gita summarized. Bhagavad Gita is actually, whole Bhagavad Gita is summarized in this chapter. So chapter 2 is actually also like a summary. It bringing all the parts of the Bhagavad Gita, the main parts. And then because Krishna wanted to do it very quick. It was on the battlefield. Everybody was waiting to fight. Arjuna was not sure. He was not sure. Or he was not now not ready to fight only. So Arjuna just said that I don't want to fight because of the five main reasons that he gave we discussed last time. So Krishna wanted to make it very quick, and that's why he summarized like a whole learning in this chapter. And then because at the end, Arjuna was still confused, was not sure. So then Krishna said, "You want me to explain more?" Then Arjuna actually started asking questions. Can you explain this? Can you explain this? Can you explain this? And that's how Krishna started elaborating each and every topic that he had spoken in this chapter. So uh, that is how then Krishna then discusses each yoga, that is karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, bhakti yoga, in each details. That's how the Bhagavad Gita then progresses. And that's how we have more detail further. So just to show quick what we'll be discussing in this chapter is, so this is how the flow of this chapter is. So Krishna, because Arjuna is now got into a complete like illusion. We can say illusion or confusion. So Krishna is saying that don't talk like this. You are talking like a person who is not knowledgeable, but you are a knowledgeable person. You are a Kshatriya. You have conquered so many kingdoms. You have beaten so many people in your fight. So don't talk like this. So first part that we see from 2.1 to 2.10, Arjuna talks about some further things because Krishna has completely countered his 5 arguments that he gave for not fighting in the end of the first chapter. And now Arjuna tries to, like after at the end he has actually almost Ashru Pulakshana. So he has having tears in his eyes, and he has actually sat down, like throwing his Gandiva, which has fallen down on the chariot. He has actually sat down on the chariot, like bottom where we keep the like feet. There he has actually sat down, and he's like thinking, "Oh, what should I do now?" And he just says that I don't want to, Krishna, I don't want to fight. But now here again he tries to give some more reason, saying that oh maybe this may be correct. So that he says, and at the end of the 2.10, that is the 2.10 word, that is where he completely now surrenders. He realizes that now there is no option for me to say anything or give any reason further, but to just surrender. So that's what he says here. And then we see how the Gyan Yoga comes, and then Krishna talks about the Gyan. Like he gives him reasons from each section, like Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and then he's at the end we say Sita Prajna. He says, uh, reinstate yourself in a Samadhi position. In Samadhi, here it is very clearly clarified by Srila Prabhupada that Samadhi doesn't mean one inactivity. One doesn't do anything. Samadhi actually means one does his activity in a way of surrender, like without any attachment and without any expectation. That is actually samadhi. So many people say that samadhi, we are taking samadhi, or this person is going to take samadhi, and so we automatically we understand that this is samadhi means inactivity, means he will be not doing anything, leaving everything and just sitting one place, is not even eating also. So that is also one type of samadhi which is good when one person puts all his energy, like with the senses, all his senses in the achievement of the perfection, that is achievement of the Lord's service by meditation. But then Krishna says that is like one type of samadhi, but Krishna is telling to Arjuna that your samadhi that you are talking of, like being a mendicant and all, your way as a Kshatriya is what? Becoming fixed in Krishna consciousness, doing everything as a detached, equipoised person. So now what we'll do is we'll like take verse by verse, and then we'll discuss the Bhagavad Gita and the chapter 2 in detail then. So if any one of you would like to read, then I would say that you can, yes, you can mention like you want to read the purport, we can discuss the purport and discussion. So your first verse, Sanjay Uvacha Tam Tata Kapaya Vishtam Ashrughunapalekshanam Vishidantam Vidam Vakyam Uvacha Madhusudhana. So Sanjay is telling to Dhritarashtra, because they are seeing, because Sanjay was given the divine power by his guru, that you can see someone who is coming from, who is at a very distant place, whatever is happening at a distant place, you can actually see. So that was the benediction by his guru, because his guru was very happy with Sanjay's service. So Sanjay was actually then, because he was a servant of Dhritarashtra, he was now, Dhritarashtra couldn't see, and also he was not on the battlefield. But Sanjay could see anything happening anywhere in the world, so he was seeing this, all the situation happening on the battlefield in Kurukshetra, and he was actually like kind of like doing a live commentary for Dhritarashtra. So Sanjay says very clearly that, oh, so what has happened to Arjuna? So Sanjay said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudana, Krishna, spoke the following words. So, because Arjuna has fallen down and he is actually literally crying and sat down on the chariot, he just says, I don't want to fight. And he's like showing complete confusion. I don't know what to do, he's saying. So, Krishna is now here, like we can say, Krishna's one of the very famous name is Madhusudana. The reason why Madhusudana? Anybody knows why Madhusudana? Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Okay, no problem. So Madhusudana, because Krishna killed a demon named Madhu. So that's why, and Sudana means the one who's killer of Madhu, the Madhu demon, and he is called Madhusudana. So here, Krishna, Srila Prabhupada gives in the purport very interestingly. He says the word Madhusudana is significant in this verse. Lord Krishna killed the demon Madhu, and now Arjuna wanted Krishna to kill the demon of misunderstanding, and that had overtaken him in the discharge of his duty. So, no one knows where compassion should be applied. So, here we have to be also, this is our learning now. We should be knowing where compassion should be applied, because compassion for the dress of a drowning man is senseless. So, we cannot have a compassion for a dress of the drowning man, because what we should have the compassion for, we should have the compassion for the actual person, not the his like we just go like someone is drowning, and then you are seeing like from a distance, and you see a third person actually jumping in the water, and then you think, oh yes, he will go and then save this person. But then you see that what he does is actually like his cloth has come off. He just takes the cloth and comes out, and he just claims that, oh, I have saved him. So what will be the what will be your what will be your understanding? You will say, oh, this person is, I don't think he's rightly situated, he's little crack or something, because the main thing is to save the drowning man, not his dress, isn't it? So same thing, what we should be learning is the man fallen in the ocean of nescience cannot be saved simply by rescuing his outward dress, which is the gross body, the body that we have. So it is actually, in fact, our situation that we have fallen in this material world that is called as great ocean, that is ocean of nescience or Bhavasagar. So we have come down in this Bhavasagar, and then if like many people say that whenever we see beggars, like generally we don't see beggars in the UK, we see many in the you do see some places. I won't name. There are some cities now where you literally see people on the street, on the like a traffic signal, coming and knocking and asking you money or help. So you see this in India very often, and many people claim that helping the beggars, giving them some money, is very good. You should do that. You should help them because they don't have any. They, like literally, they don't have anyone. So that is how the claim is. But this is what the main reason should be. Are you just literally helping that body, or are you actually helping that man, like the man who is inside, the soul who is inside? So we should be actually thinking of the soul. And what is the need of the soul? Like Prabhupada gives a very interesting example, that is of a motor car, like a car, diesel car, petrol car that we have. So there is a car. So looking after the car is important, definitely. So the car needs fuel, petrol, diesel, whatever gasoline you say. So that is important. But that doesn't mean that only the car is important and not the driver inside. So there is a driver inside who is also needing some food. That is the requirement for the person inside. So one who is in a learned position, what he will do, he will look after the car. Yes, so he will look after the car in a way that he will do servicing. He will put a proper quality fuel also. So that is the food for the vehicle, the body of the car. But then an intelligent person, he will also look after the driver's need. So driver also need particular food. So same way our body is considered a mix of, like we have this body as a car, and the person inside, the being inside, the living being, that is we actually live, like refer to the living being is who? The soul, the Atma. The soul that is there inside is actually the driver. So one who is intelligent will also look after the need of the driver while looking after the car. But we see, unfortunately, in this world, many people they only look after the body. That is, only look after the car. And the person inside, what is happening to him? He is actually starving. And what happens when such thing happens? When a person who is uh, like when a driver starves, what happens? You will actually see that the eventually the car will break down one time, and it will not function properly because the person inside is not working normally. He is getting starved, so he will not obviously do his activity as normal. So this is what we should be doing. So one who does not know this and laments for the outward dress is called a Shudra, or one who laments unnecessarily. So Arjuna was a Kshatriya, and this conduct was not expected from him. Lord Krishna, however, can dissipate the lamentation of the ignorant man. And for this purpose, the Bhagavad Gita was sung by him. So here we get a clear reason why the Bhagavad Gita was actually spoken. Because the main thing was that Arjuna, he was actually lamenting for what? For only the his kinsmen. He was lamenting, but he was only lamenting for their only so-called body, because you're saying they will die, this will happen, that will happen for them. So that's what Krishna is trying to say, that this is not a sane person's behavior. So because you are only talking about what what the people you are seeing, but the soul within them, whatever they have done, they have to get the reaction for that. And their reaction is actually they have to die, and they will be actually going to a next stage of their journey, further journey. So they everybody has to go there. So this chapter instructs us in self-realization by an analytical study of the material body and the spirit soul. So it is very clear that Bhagavad Gita is not just philosophy, or not just like a like what you say in India, like charcha, topic for charcha, like just let's discuss this thing. No, it is a proper science. It is a analytical study. Analytical study means it is based by reasons, based by logic, reasoning, and it is giving basis. So it is an analytical study like how science or proper people take trainings and all. So it is actually like that. So as explained by the Supreme Authority, Lord Sri Krishna, and Krishna himself is giving this analytical study, analytical science. So this realization is possible when one works without attachment to fruitive results and is situated in fixed conception of the real self. So uh, what we see in this verse is main thing is that Madhusudana. So Krishna is being referred to as Madhusudana, and why he is referred because he killed Devan Madhu. But we'll see actually why Madhusudana is now coming here, because now Arjuna will going to say is, oh, you are Madhusudana, but I am not Madhusudana. Like he will say like that. So we'll see that as well further. So Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. So now Krishna is saying, and Kutastha Kashmalamidam Vishame Samupastitam Anaryajustam Asvargyam Akirti Karamarjuna. So now Krishna is actually trying to chastise Arjuna. Oh Arjuna, what you are doing? The Supreme Personality of God had said, my dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? He's like Krishna is directly questioning, what are you doing? Like literally like this. How is this impurity come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows value of life. They lead not to higher planets but to infamy. So as we discussed in the first chapter, that for a Kshatriya to die on the battlefield is much more like even if he uh, loses the battle and he dies, it is considered a much more higher destination or much more higher achievement than to actually do something else, because that's the whole thing. So, and that is how a person should be. Whatever his duty is, if he does that properly, it is considered success for him. But a person doing someone else's duty imperfectly or even perfectly, that is not considered achievement. It is just considered as a loss, as a loser. So we should do our duty, whatever our duty is, we should also find that and we should do that. Even if we do it imperfectly, that is fine. That is considered an achievement still, because that is what we are supposed to do. So, but Krishna and Supreme Personality of Godhead are identical. So very clearly we should know, this should be very clear to us, Krishna and Supreme Personality. So Krishna is the Supreme Personality, and that is what is said here, they are identical. Therefore, Lord Krishna is referred to as Bhagavan. So Krishna is referred to as what? Bhagavan. So again, this word Bhagavan means Bhagya. So who has the Bhagya and Bhagyavan, like we say Bhagyavan. So Bhagavan means Bhaga means is like opulence, many opulences, many things. So Krishna is having all the opulences in this whole world, and in very specific, Krishna has the 64 qualities in totality. So that 64 qualities are like everything comes of this world, all the skills, everything, all the opulences in there. Krishna is having them. And when we see a normal person, we as a human being, we are not having not even totality, forget about the totality, I mean one of them. So we don't have any single also opulences in totality. Krishna has all. That's why he is called Bhagavan. And we will see that Bhagavan is not used for anybody else. It's only used for the one who is Supreme Personality of God. That is also because he is Bhagavan. So like that. The absolute truth is realized in three phases of understanding, namely Brahman, that is impersonal aspect of the Lord, Paramatma, and finally Bhagavan, that is Supreme Personality of God and Lord Shri Krishna. So this is very also important perspective that we should have, that Krishna can come or Krishna can be realized in these three main uh, aspects. First is the Brahman realization. Brahman means Nirakar. Everything is God. Everything, anything and everything is God. God is everywhere. So many people have this philosophy, and that is correct also because Krishna gives them this thing in the literature. Those who want to uh, believe in me or worship me in this form, I am acceptable or I am available to them in this form as well. That is what Krishna is making available. So Krishna is available for them also as a Nirakar form. Krishna is there. So many religions that we have around the world, they believe that Krishna, Lord doesn't have any form. So this is what it is. This is Nirakar form of the Lord. And that is also one way acceptable. And then there is a Paramatma form. Paramatma means that is a supreme within the heart, like a super soul that is situated with us, supreme like a very subtle. So it is not like even Nirakar, but it's not also like we can actually see and realize, or we can directly relate with him, like a subtle form. So Paramatma form. And then there is a direct, achievable, attainable form, like we can see, worship, that is the Bhagavan form, where he takes a form and he does pastimes. We can see him, we can refer to him, we can see his activities and glorify him. So that is like literally Krishna coming as a body, Krishna. So that is what we have. So one of the very simple examples to understand is like we know a very famous, tasty example is like a gulab jamun. So someone making a gulab jamun in the kitchen. So you can actually understand that someone is making gulab jamun by what? Just by smelling. Like when someone is making in the house, even next house also can smell, and the smell is very nice. Okay, so that smell is actually referred in an analogy. This is an analogy that smell is like a Brahman realization. So Brahman realization means you can smell, you're not seeing it. You have not, like, person who doesn't know, like let's say a British person who doesn't even know what gulab jamun is, and his next neighbor is just making gulab jamun, Indian Bengali person, let's say, and making nice gulab jamun in ghee, pure ghee. So we ourselves, without even seeing the gulab jamun, we can actually sense that gulab jamun in our mind now. So this kind of feeling is actually Brahman realization. So that we can refer, this is like an analogy. So that is the understanding. But let's say that neighbor calls a British neighbor, and he comes in and he sees the gulab jamun. He holds in a hand. So he still doesn't know what it is. Okay? He still doesn't know what gulab jamun means or what it tastes like. He holds in his hand because he's been invited and given that. So when holding also, because it looks so nice and it is like it has a golden syrup, like the chastity. So it is definitely, it looks also very attractive for everybody, no matter who it is. So that holding in the hand and just seeing and feeling the niceness is actually what like a Paramatma realization. So we can see it, but still we haven't realized it. Like it is there, we can see and we are happy with it. So that is like a Paramatma realization. But the main, or we can say the main achievement will be what? To eat the gulab jamun and relish the gulab jamun. So eating the gulab jamun, when you taste, so everything in your understanding will come true. You will know how the taste is and what all, like whether there is a cardamom in it or not. All that will come in. And I think many of you also are sensing that pleasure in the mind. So that actually enjoyment when you actually eat, that is what, that is Bhagwan realization. Where you are not only just smelling it, you are not only just seeing it in the hand and feeling it, but you're also eating and relishing it. So in totality, what it means, the Brahman realization only has the one aspect, that is only the smell. You just smell and happy. So those who are actually referring or worshipping the Lord in Brahman realization, they are only, you can say, they are only enjoying one part or one bit of it. Then those who are worshipping the Paramatma realization, they're actually having it in hand, but still not enjoying it. So they are also in the middle. But those who are worshipping the Lord as a Bhagwan, in the Bhagwan realization or Bhagwan form, so they know the form of the Lord, worshipping the Lord, glorifying the Lord, chanting His holy name, which is very important. So those people are on the topmost position of enjoyment, like they are relishing the love of Lord in the totality. So by this example, we can clearly, in a very drastic example, we can understand. And same way we can explain to anyone else who is actually saying that God doesn't have any form. One of the very simple things you can say to them when they say you God doesn't have any form. So we should say that you people pray, you people call to the Lord, and you actually gather in a crowd. You call everybody and call to the Lord in so much like a pomp, and you actually put on a loudspeaker also. So this was actually told by one of the sannyasis of his form. He was, I think, in a Arab country, and one person, like a very proper Muslim Arab person, he came and he saw that this sannyasi was actually chanting on the beads, and he came and he spoke to him. So I'll just end with this one quickly. So he spoke to him, and very nice conversation. He asked, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm chanting the name of the Lord, calling the Lord." So he said. The Arab person said, "How can you call the Lord like this by just doing this and chanting something?" So he said, "You also pray. So you pray like you do, and then you call the Lord. So when you're calling the Lord, doesn't He listen?" He said, "Yes, He listens." So he said, "Then if you're calling the Lord, He listens. Then He does have a form also, don't you think?" So this Arab person was very nice, obviously gentleman. So he accepted this, and he was like. Yes, yes, you are saying the right thing. He listens. So he said yes. So even if you're saying he doesn't have a form, but he's listening. So he listening means he has a ears, he has a body there. So he said yes. And this other person, he was so attracted and fascinated by this ISKCON sannyasis. He said that, "Oh, you asking me time, you don't have a watch yourself. You are on the airport, you are traveling internationally." He said, sannyasi said, "No, I don't have a watch." So he immediately went to a airport shop, bought a watch, and gave back to him that this is a gift from me. So you can see that yes, people are there, and if you tell them logically, they actually understand. And they are proper person also who are actually learned in their own thing also. So sorry, we'll stop here because of the time, and we will continue the discussion from here next time. So this is what we understand the main thing today, that Krishna is God, and Krishna can be uh, worshipped in three aspects. So one is Brahman, which is completely like what we say, Nirakar, Paramatma, which is like somewhat understanding of the Lord in between, but Bhagwan is the supreme, where we actually relate with him the form and features, and we can glorify him. This is what we do. So any questions or anything anybody has for now? And coming to this form also, one Vinanini Mataji also suggested last time that we should do chanting. So we'll be starting the chanting, like group chanting. We can do Sankirtan, which is said. So we can do Sankirtan as a chanting sitting in the beach, or we can do as a outside, with all the kartal and all. So I think we can start our chanting also. We can do a group chanting one round together. So I think once people are ready, we can do that. Any questions for now today? Do you have anything on this topic we discussed?
Excuse me.
No. Yes.
Because you are explaining the example of the gulab jamun.
Yes.
What is the reason that example? I might be missed something when you started to say
Ah,
that.
no problem. So yes, so this was for related to this, and yes, so Minu Mataji, for just for everyone understanding, Minu Mataji is from Aberdeen, been connected for a long time with ISKCON. So yes, it was in relation with the giving an example how what does this Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan actually has understanding. So I was trying to give an analogy for that. So the example was like this: Brahman is like completely Nirakar form of the Lord, which is also one aspect of the Lord. Yes, it is not like completely bogus thing. It is, yes, it is in the Shastras. So example of the gulab jamun is like that. If you just smell the gulab jamun someone is making, if you just smell it, so you know someone is making something special. Like I'm talking about a person like a British person who doesn't know what gulab jamun is, how it looks, how it tastes. Someone like that. So if someone is making gulab jamun in a pure ghee and everything proper, very delicious one. So the smell that goes to that person, he will realize something nice is there. Okay. So because he still doesn't know it is something like a gulab jamun, he just says, "Oh, it is nice," isn't it? So that only the smell aspect is what is Brahman aspect. Okay, yeah, and then if that person, the British person, gets to hold a gulab jamun, which is like proper golden with the golden syrup, like looks like brownish gold, dark brownish color and like shining. So he will hold it in his hand. But does it mean that he is actually enjoying the gulab jamun? He will hold in a hand. He will be like, "Oh, it looks very nice." How they say like that. So he can be doing that also, which is okay, but he's still not enjoying the gulab. So holding in the hand and just seeing the thing is what, like a Paramatma realization. Means you see it is there, it is nice, but you're still not completely enjoying it. Okay, not relishing it, I would say. Okay, so that is Paramatma realization. But finally, when you eat the gulab jamun, what you get? You get complete satisfaction, like you actually relishing it in totality, which is it is meant to be there. Okay. So that is like a Bhagwan realization. Person who is worshipping the Lord in Bhagwan aspect is actually getting all of it. So like in the case of Gulab Jamun, you can, when you're eating it, you are also smelling it. You are like holding and you are sensing it because you are eating with your hand. You are actually feeling uh, the the happening thing of it. Like it is like this and that, and you are eating, and then you are relishing. So you're getting the final thing, which is the taste, which is the main thing of the Gulab Jamun. So same way, the essence of worship of the Lord is in Bhagwan aspect. So we should know that. Okay. I hope clear now.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So yes. So Krishna, and then if we'll be saying that in the further that Krishna will be giving much more clear details, and then we'll be seeing that also why Madhusudana has come. So and Arjuna says that you can kill people, your own people. Like there was a case where Krishna had killed, but Arjuna says, I can't kill my own people. Yeah, you are God, I am not God. So that kind of reasoning he will be giving things. But then eventually, as we saw in the last session, I think, yes, that Krishna won't interfere. Krishna won't interfere until unless we approach Krishna. And same way here, Arjuna is also approaching to Krishna and he's asking. So this is the main essence for us. Okay. So here we'll see further also the example of the sun also is given. We'll be seeing that next time, but I would say then we'll stop here now. Thank you very much all. And yes, I will say that we should start now chanting. Hopefully next session onward we can plan. And I would say you can bring your beads. You are at home only, then you can get your beads and we can all sit and chant at least one round together. Sankirtan is said to have more power because when people come together and chant, it becomes multiplied. Everybody gets more benefit than what individually one person can get. So, yes, thank you very much and Hare Krishna.